I think it's a good idea. We don't know. I don't know whether anybody's contacted them, let them know this is going on or what. But, so for every dollar that we generate, and somebody said, well, it's $1 million a year, or salaries or whatever, that $1 million is only worth as much as we don't lose someplace else. And it's my feeling we will lose a substantial amount. So I would hope that maybe Pilot might want to consider looking at 18 and we'll talk to NDOT and we'll see what can be done.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilman Whitfelder.
Thank you, Your Honor. I learned about this, well, first of all, I was not at the review committee meeting last Tuesday. I was out of town on some city stuff, and I learned pretty much about it at the tail end of economic review or development. And to tell you the truth, at the beginning, I was not real warm and fuzzy toward the idea. And then I got online and printed out a 72-page traffic study and read every page. And after I read every page, I felt a little bit better, to tell you the truth. But I read every page diligently. And to be perfectly honest with you, I got back last Friday night, and I haven't had a lot of good nights, total sleep since then, thinking about this issue. And I've spent a lot of time weighing the good and the bad. I've been a property owner here since 2000. I've been a resident since 2002. I've never seen a Mesquite Star open. I don't know what it's like. I was in there one time through golf for kids stuff because we had toys stored there. But I have no idea what it looked like. But I know what it looks like now, and it's been an eyesore. It's been vacant. It's been nothing. It's been catching cobwebs. I understand there might be asbestos problems and, well, all of the above. I certainly think that the economic benefit probably outweighs any of the detriments that I've listened to. I've been a businessman for a long time. I like the idea of jobs. I like the idea of revenue. I like the idea of the tax base. I like the idea of property taxes. I think what it brings to the table is probably pretty positive for the city of Mesquite. So, thank you.
If I may answer Councilman Littman's question about the storage bay, we measured 250 feet of left-turn storage bay for the cars turning back onto the freeway. Each car takes about 25 feet, so you probably could put 10 cars there instead of 4 to make that up. Now, if you really wanted to extend that length, make that a continuous left turn lane all the way through. That way, if the cars aren't using it on the east side, or on the south side, they can use the north side or vice versa. So there's ways to make that work a lot better. One of the things that we saw when we were doing the traffic work is the light, the signal phase on the lights are quite low in comparison to what we see in Las Vegas. And so there's a lot of room for adjustment for that to bring that up. So if the trucks are going slow, you can extend that more. All the signals seem to work quite well. You got the right signal heads and everything gear that you need. So you've got the left turn lane. If nothing else is coming, you can make that green left. There was one other item. Oh, somebody earlier had asked about accidents. And we did a 3-year accident report for those 4 intersections. There was 4 accidents down at Old Mill. That was the worst in 3 years. There was 2 at the, there was 1 each at the ramps. And then there was 2 there in front where they're going to be using the truck turns to come out of the intersection. So there's almost no accidents going on anywhere there. So I know it'll make it a little worse, but there's plenty of room to work on it to make it work better. So if you need us to help, we'll be glad to work with your traffic people to coordinate the signals and things like that. They're working pretty good right now. I mean, there's no complaints. The cycle lengths went from 60 to 100 seconds, but they weren't all running the same, so if you really want to try to coordinate them, you have to look at all four of them at one time, not just one individually. Right?
Councilman Littman, you had another question, comment?
Yes, another comment related to the same thing. I spent about 8-10 hours researching Flying J's all over the United States. Those that had problems, those that didn't have problems, those that were well accepted, those that weren't accepted in various communities, what it took to get one into various communities, and I still don't think we're using our due diligence at this point. It came about very quickly. I think there's a lot of research that still needs to be done on the part of staff and probably some on the part of Flying J. As an example, again, I'll refer back to Dixon, California, which is just 2 years ago, where Flying J comments that they will contribute their share of road improvements, and in this case it's California. Caltrans may have to step in and redo the intersection. This is Interstate 80 off-ramp in order to make this project work. They did go ahead and do all of this, and at that point the city was satisfied, and I believe they completed their Flying J in this community. But in my opinion, we're jumping the gun on this as far as, I'm not against the truck stop or travel whatsoever, and I'm definitely in favor of bringing employment to the community. These are pluses, but I think we still need to do our due diligence ahead of schedule here and make sure that these things are going to work and that we do have the promises of Flying J that they will cooperate and do what is necessary to bring this all about, rather than let the horse out of the barn and 30 days later we've got a building torn down and a new facility going up, and we're still questioning, did we really look at all of this properly? And at this point, I don't think we have.
I'd like to make a comment.
Okay, hold on, Councilman, I'll let you make a comment here in 1 second. Go ahead.
I was just going to reiterate that Pilot is more than willing to continue to work with the traffic department to do anything and everything within reason, obviously. I'm not going to redo the overpass or whatever, but within reason to work to resolve these things. That's what we do. And like I said, we've worked long and hard to date, and we're willing to continue to work with your staff until everyone's satisfied that it's the best possible way that it can be.
Okay, Councilman Rapson, hold on. Councilman Rapson, hold on 1 second. Councilman Gustavson, your light was on before Councilman Rapson, but if you want to cede that or make your comment, that's fine, and I'll go to Councilman Rapson after yours.
Thank you. Just keep it on. There we go. Testing, it's working. I want to make it crystal clear that I have no objections to a truck travel center. And if it were to be this particular company, I would be thrilled to death. It's just still the issue of this is not the right location. I just want everybody to understand that, the audience, you know.
I agree.
Newspapers and everything. The other thing, I don't want to get into a debate with an engineer because, you know, get his slide rule out, I'll be in trouble. But, you know, when we talk about having 250 feet of stacking and, you know, I'm kind of a dummy on big trucks, but we have an expert out in the audience there. She was been a truck driver, but I think that with the new trailers they're using now, regular semis over 80 feet long. And a double's probably, you can add another 40 maybe, so it's probably about 120. these are just numbers out of the top of my head. I'm certainly never been a truck driver. And the other one's about 160. So maybe, you know, any one combination of those, you don't have a lot of, I mean, you're right, there's maybe it's 8 or 9 cars. I give you that, but it's not 8 or 9 semi-trucks.
Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Rapson.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate Councilman Gustavus' math, but at the end of the day, Flying J is the business of trucks. And if they think this location works, I have to believe it works. They're not gonna spend $10 million and $12 million on a trouble center that trucks can't get in and out of. And at the end of the day, I'm not gonna pretend that I know more than Flying J about truck stops or trucks or traffic, and the traffic study supports it. And we've got the incrementally. I don't know if there's going to be a huge amount of more trucks stopping than already stop over the 100 a night that stay at the river truck stop. It's just, and they both the increment or the proportionate number go north, proportionate number go south, or it's just they all go up that same steep hill in both directions. So I'm not sure that this changes anything, and the traffic is what it is, and they wouldn't be here if they didn't think the traffic was going to work for them.
That finished, Councilman?
Yes.
George.
If there's no more, I'd like to make a motion.
Hold on, I've got something else here. Councilman Withelder, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have a brief question backing up on what Councilman Gustavus just mentioned about the length of some of these trucks. The average trailer is about 80 feet long, is that correct, from cab to,
That's
from the nose to
from
tail?
rubber to tail, yeah.
And then the double is,
Another 50, 60 feet,
now how about triples?
another 50.
Would that intersection accommodate triples, for instance? I mean, we see more and more of them on the highway, and frankly, they make me a little nervous, but those guys that drive them obviously know what they're doing, but I wonder, would that intersection accommodate a triple?
Yes, it will. Let's see, that would be 180.
Go in front of the mic so that people at home and everybody else can hear you.
That would
Thank
be
you.
probably at the most 200 feet. You still have 250. You can actually add another 250 if you want to make that a continuous left turn lane. So a car needs 25 feet. So you could put a triple and 2 cars in there.
Okay, that answers my question, thank you.
Sounds like a couple of thoughts have come out of this. Councilman Gustavus and Councilman, Littman, I'm tired. Both mentioning maybe this might be postponed for a little bit, get some more public input and work a little bit more with staff to find out about the possibilities to move, to go with a continuous left-hand turn lane, take a look at that information and see if there's any other viable way to kind of go over some of the concerns. Obviously, some of us will have a concern that might be different, and I know Councilman Littman's light is on at this point, but sounds like there's a couple of different ideas being floated here. Go ahead, Councilman Littman.